In a while. Okay, my recording is live. My recording is live. Great. So you should be able to see my screen by now. Can you see it? Super. So the session is actually how to carry multiple responsibilities without losing your mind. But we couldn't have put without losing your mind on our flyer. So we put managing responsibility like a pro. But it actually got out of a place from Omo. My Omo is Omoing. Testimony, can we join with the TVM account and make sure to keep everybody muted? That is unmuting. Thank you so much. So my Omo is Omoing. There's a lot going on, right? So how do you juggle all of these things without losing your mind? That's really the session. And if you're in this call, I'm sorry, I did not prepare an introductory session or an introductory slides to tell you about myself because, again, it's for workforce. So you probably already know me, right? If you know me, you know that I do many things. Not to brag, we currently have about 3 or 4 projects running simultaneously, if not more, right? So we have our companies running, Growth Pad is running, Skill Pad is running. Then we have our subset companies, the academy is running. Then we have events, Growth Africa Summit is running because it's going to happen in November. Then we have Made to Shine. Made to Shine is running. That's going to happen in about a month, in September, right? We have Growth Circle. Growth Circle is running. By the way, this is a pre-event of Growth Circle that's going to happen in Port Harcourt. So that's like also running, right? And then we have like my personal coaching system, my personal brand that is running, right? At the same time, I'm in a training school. I'm in an accelerator program myself, right? That is also running. So many things. We're pushing out our book. So many things are running at the same time, right? So if you are on the call, be rest assured that I'm not trying to teach you something that I got off textbook or whatever. It's real knowledge, it's applied knowledge, it's also inspired, of course, by the Spirit of God. And it's something that is very needed for this season. Super, absolutely needed for this season. And because this is a closed conversation, I'm going to be giving you as it is. I'm going to be telling you real experiences from myself. I'm going to be showing you frameworks that I have developed. We need to trademark some of them that are working for me, that are still going to work for you, that can work for anybody if you apply it properly. So let's get right into it. So you see 2 pictures on your screen. One is before and the other is after. So before you apply the systems and the things that we're telling you or what we're going to be teaching you today, and then after you apply it, right? So before you're overwhelmed, you're reacting to everything. Your boss is saying, this thing is due. You're juggling multiple CTAs. You're forgetting things. So if this sounds like you say, oh, I'm so sorry, I forgot. It slipped my mind. It happens to the best of us. We forget. But at some level, it's chronic. You are making small, silly mistakes. You're having errors in your document. You're busy. You feel busy. Anytime anybody asks you, how are you? It's like, come on, I did shall we thank God. This is you on the left. And then after, you see a much more organized table, right? It's not completely clean. It's not squeaky clean, but things are saner. So you have your days are designed. You have your clear priorities. Your energy is more protected. Yeah, your output is consistent. One thing that people that know me always ask me all the time is, Victory, how do you do it? Like, how do you manage all these multiple things? And really and truly, well, sometimes we don't, right? Sometimes I'm not in the driver's seat, but there's a system that keeps running. I've learned things that helps me to still consistently deliver great outputs. And yes, or sometimes we tip the scale in terms of, we kind of experience burnout. But if I'm being genuinely honest, more often than not, I'm not about to lose my mind every single day. Yeah, so a normal day for me might be really stressful, but I'm not about to lose my mind every single day. So somehow this system is working. But as I'm teaching you, I'm also teaching myself because I need to, up it. I need to increase it. I need to deepen it, right, as we go along. So the core message is not about being busy. I know some of us, especially in Nigeria, we brag about being busy. Oh, mom, I'm so busy. Even I'm telling you, it happens to the best of us. I've not been able to eat since morning. Have not been this. Busy people are not necessarily productive people. The goal isn't doing more. It isn't juggling 5 master classes or 5 courses, online courses. It's not having 10 jobs, even though I know this is 2026 and we're all doing 100 jobs, right? The goal is consistently doing the right things, and you will soon know what the right things are, while protecting your mind, your energy, and your long-term health. And I don't necessarily mean physical health, even though that's important. I'm saying the health as in the health of your system. Because if you're getting a high result, when they say ruthless execution people, right? And you make that a system, not just a task, you're getting consistently high results, and it is at the detriment of your systems, that is your health. Again, not just physical health, but like the entire system that you run on. Then at some point you're going to crash and burn.
This is important. And configuration between places and what believers
at some point you're going to crash and burn, right? So this is the core message that we're pitching today. So let's start. I love frameworks. If you know me, you know I love frameworks. I like to organize things. I like to use fancy words. You know, that's why we have GAS, we have GFA, we have SPA. You know, and people are like, which one is SPA? SPA is Scale Party Academy. I love frameworks. They just kind of organize everything in my head. So I've put it in this framework called the order framework. Right? So keep in your mind, if you forget anything, that we're going to go across a framework called the order framework. There's still one more framework you will learn here, which is also even more important, but we're starting with the order framework. Again, order is great, but this order means different things. You can see it means own, rank, deploy, enrich, and regulate. 5 steps or 5 phases that we're going to follow all through the class today. So please stay with me. Don't leave me. I'm telling you, I promise you, when you think you're getting value, it's going to get better. So don't leave me, okay? Stay with me. So we're going to get started with the own. What exactly are we owning, right? We want to talk about productivity. We want to talk about, a lot of people say, oh, let's manage. I want to know how to manage my time better. But by the end of this class, you will know that you really can't manage your time, right? And we'll find out why. Okay, so we want to understand the system we're trying to manage. Remember, I told you the health of the system. So the entire ensemble of everything you're trying to do in terms of, in quotes, managing your time, being more productive, efficient systems. Who are these people? Guys, come on. Keep your this thing muted, okay? Please. All right. So the system you're trying to manage, you have to know it. It's an asset. It's like how will I call it? It's like an engine. It has different parts. You need to know it. You need to own it, right? You need to receive it. You need to be like, okay, this is my own operating system. This is my own asset. This is what I have to work with, right? So before we even talk about productivity hack and every other thing that you probably already know off of the internet, you know, the 25 minutes focus work and all of those things. By the way, there's a session that we've done before, I think earlier this year, where I also taught another framework called the Access POS framework. And I really taught extensively about how to automate excellence. This is not that class, right? But for registered participants, we're going to send you that class as a bonus, or that slide as a bonus. So again, if you got the link and you didn't register, ask the person that gave you the Google link to give you the registration link so you can register and you will get the bonus. So we're not talking about how to do things, you know, the automating excellence. We're telling you today about how you manage this entire system, right? So what is the system that you own? What is the asset that you own, right? We own what we call the crate assets. Crate as in crate of egg. Again, another acronym, another framework, right? We own the crate asset. So let's see what we own. When I was growing up, I had this, what do they call it now? Kind of like a small, I don't know what they call it. All these things that people put in their houses. It was not an art. It was not an image. No, these things that they just write something on. In my house growing up, then it said, Lord, give me the grace to change the things I can and the serenity to accept the things I can't. I never really understood it because I'm like, all things are possible, right? But this, when I was making this slide, that picture came into my image again and I wrote it down because there are really some things that you cannot change. For example, you're always going to have 24 hours, except you want to live somewhere outside of Earth. You're always, even in Mars, I don't know, but I think you're always going to have 24 hours, right? So the crate system is capacity, responsibilities, attention, time, and energy. Take a minute to absorb that, right? Because I know that you want to be reading as I'm talking. So look at the slide if you want to and absorb it. You have capacity, responsibilities, your attention, time, and energy, right? That is the crate system. This is what you own. Everything that you do and not do is going to revolve around that, the crate system, right? Now we're going to go into each one briefly before we now move on to the next phase of our order framework, because we're still in the own, right? So what do we own? We own the crates, right? Actually, how do we then manage the crates, which is our assets that we have? We manage it through another crate, right? So crate squared. So what do you do with capacity? You calibrate it. You know what calibrate is? It's not regulate, you align to fit the season. Your capacity is finite, whether you like it or not. It is finite to an extent. It can increase per time, but for every single time, it is finite. Let me tell you what I mean. Right now, I can probably handle 6 projects at the same time. That's what I've built my capacity to be able to handle. If you give me 20, I will collapse. There are some people that are operating at the range of being able to handle 20. They have built capacity so much, of course, inclusive of systems and everything else, so much that they're able to handle 20. So your capacity is finite. There's a limit to what you can do per time. You need to know that. So what do you do with the capacity that you've developed is that you calibrate it. In this particular season, I sense that I need to release a bit more of my capacity that I have. Then I go ahead to do it. In this particular season, I sense that I need to, you stretch a little bit, but you can't go from, how do I put it now? You can't go from the circumference to outside of the ring completely. So yes, a rubber band might be elastic and you pull it, but it will cut when you get to the edge of the limit. A small rubber band is a small rubber band, right? A small rubber band cannot hold a chair, but there are probably bigger rubber bands and they can stretch. So while people always say this thing that yes, you can leave your comfort zone and you can stretch yourself, and growth happens out when you stretch a little, you must understand that within the circumference that you are in, your capacity is still finite. And so you calibrate. Calibrate is the stretching. Okay, I have a bit more project. I'm going to stretch a little bit here, stretch a little bit there. But you can't stretch from the zone of where you are now to a Tony Elumelu zone, for example. Let me use him since it's trending. You can't stretch from where you are now to a Fela Durotoye's zone, right? In this season. But over time, you probably will get there. And we all get there in Jesus' name. So capacity is finite. You calibrate your capacity. And thank you to everybody giving me those emojis in the chat, because I can't see your faces. It tells me that you are here and you're present, and I'm absolutely loving it, right? Just give me a minute. Let me set something to make sure that I do not get interrupted. Okay. So let's move on to the next one. I don't know what's going on. Did I miss something? Somebody's laughing. Responsibilities. This one we all know. Responsibilities is potentially unlimited. I guarantee you. So every role that you have comes with responsibilities. For those who are mothers, do we have any mothers here? I don't know yet. For those who are mothers, oh yes, of course, we might have mothers. For those who are mothers, you have a responsibility as a mother. For those who are wives, you have responsibility as a wife. You have responsibility as a father, right? As a husband. You have responsibilities as a manager at work. You You have responsibility as a friend. You have responsibility as a sister, as a mentor, as a mentee, so your responsibilities could potentially be unlimited. I'm not saying they are unlimited. I'm saying potentially. Because guess what? When you increase capacity, responsibilities, it's just like money. The more money you make, the more you will spend. I can't understand till the end of time. I don't know how people have not been able to crack this thing. Someone will be like, yes, I can spend below my means, but you can only do it for like max 6 months or 1 year. Once you move from any 1 million to any 5 million, I don't really know how it just happened, but you get, so your responsibilities are almost like that, right? So this is for the people who, and like I said, guys, I will be extremely down to earth, right? This is a training for the workforce, so please don't feel like I'm shading you if anything has happened recently. It is really just for the training, I promise you. But there are people who, their first reaction to overwhelmed, it is, I'm not doing again. I want to go. You must realize that your responsibility is potentially unlimited. So once you're tired of being a mother, or maybe by some reason your children become overwhelming, do you know, I'm like, I'm not mothering again. Come and carry your children. I'm done. I'm resigning as a mother. I'm giving up. It doesn't work like that. Guys, that's not a sustainable strategy. You must understand this. This is a new mental model. This CREATE system is a new mental model. You must internalize it, right? Your responsibilities are almost always going to be potentially unlimited. Do you think that the richest men in the world, the Dangote, the Elon Musk, do you think that they have lesser responsibilities? No, it's just changed, right? This type of, or the how do I put it? Their capacity has increased, systems have gotten better, but he has just changed. So your responsibilities are potentially unlimited, potentially. So what do you do with responsibilities? You regulate them. Regulate means turn up the heat here, turn off the heat here, turn up the heat here, turn off the heat here. You regulate, right? You adjust, you tune. That's what you can do with responsibilities. And I'll show you some examples. But that's what you do. Again, this is still on the own. This is a system that you own. You own capacity, you own responsibilities, right? And you have to manage them accordingly. We calibrate capacity, we regulate responsibility. Another very interesting one, attention. You own attention. That is how much, and I don't mean attention that people give you, I mean the attention that you can deploy, right? The thing, your mental power that you can release, right? You can focus, you can release your focus, okay? So what do you do with attention? You allocate it. When I'm in a day, I'm in an office and there are 10 things that need my attention, you choose. I'm going to allocate my attention to this thing. Do you understand? You cannot, what's the word now? You cannot stretch attention, endlessly. It is most likely limited, right? There is so much that you can focus on part-time. If you sit down and you're reviewing a very complex document, your attention is in that document. You cannot be reviewing that document at the same time be solving calculus. Even if you can move to that document to doing something, your brain is on that document at that time. So if when people say I'm multitasking, what you're doing is quick switching. And that works sometimes, right? I was on a call for long hours with one of our senior leaders in the workforce, talking about mate shine. And I'm like, we're on the call, but then at the same time, I'm trying to do something. But what happens every time is I'm doing that thing while I'm like, yeah, where she's talking, I'm listening passively, but I'm doing something. So I'm not in that moment talking with her and my brain is completely split into two. Maybe some of you have achieved that, but the truth is attention is limited. So you allocate your attention. You must see your attention like a currency that you spend. You spend it. If you understand that this is an asset, then you will spend it wisely. That's why the first part of the entire system is that you own it. The next one is one we're all familiar with, time. I'm going to manage my time management strategy. We start from that. But we all have 24 hours. So technically, you really cannot manage time in that sense. right? You guys, please, let's not make me laugh. You really cannot manage time in that sense, because if you manage it more, it's not going to increase or decrease. It is constant, it is fixed, it is 24 hours in a day. What you can do is track and treasure. Again, you see your time as another currency. Everything here is your arsenal, is your assets, is what you have to make do with the how will I put it now, to thrive in this giant thing of life. Do you understand? So you track your time, you treasure your time. Tracking means I want to know how much of my time I'm spending in something. I want to know how much of my time is going somewhere. So this project is taking how much time? How many percent of my time am I allocating? Do you understand? And then you treasure, because it's one of your most expensive currency or assets in this bucket of assets that you have. It's expensive because you can't buy it, even though you use systems, you use tools, you use employees, to buy it, but you can't really buy more hours. It's expensive because it doesn't increase, right? So no matter how well you invest and invest, it doesn't go beyond 24 hours. That's why it's expensive. So you treasure it. So you treasure where you put your time. You treasure what you do with it, and you track. Because what doesn't get tracked doesn't get optimized. I don't know how to speak that English. If you don't know where your time is going, you constant people that suffer from doom scrolling on Instagram and TikTok is because you're not tracking. Sometimes just go on, this feature that your phone has allows you to see how much time you spent on your phone that week, and then click on the apps and then see how much time you spend. You'll be surprised that some of us are spending 30% or 40% of our lives on the things that are not supposed to be spent on. You're literally legit spending half of your entire adulthood. Because what's the life expectancy of an average Nigerian today? That you will be spending 10 hours times 7 days a week, 70 hours. Instagram doesn't pay you, but you spend more time on Instagram than your job that is 40 hours a week. I'm not here to shake tables. Let's go ahead. So your time you track and you treasure, right? And then the final one is your energy. This one I love because this is one of the secrets, one of the juicy tools that I have learned to use and manage, and that works for me. Your energy is variable. Like, it varies from person to person. It varies from period to period. You're never going to be at 100% energy an entire week. I mean, maybe never is a strong word, but most often than not, realistically, you're not. There are some times that you are on high energy. You're just like achieving your task. There are other times that you're just, God, I beg, we're just going through the motions, right? So when you understand, and some people, when they feel that, the next is like, I just need to chill. I just need ice cream. I just need this. I just need to sleep. I need to distress. Then the next thing you need to understand that it's energy. It's energy. It's energy. It's not, it's an asset. Again, you yeah. I want to speak in some kind of tongues right now. That's okay. It's a variable. So what do you do with your energy? First, you engineer it. I love the word engineer. I love it. It speaks about intentional design. You engineer your energy. You make it work for you because it's your assets. So for you to engineer something, those of us who are in the growth space, and we talk about growth engineering, it means that I studied how this thing works. I can curate systems from it. I can design it, and then I can now use it to work for me, such that I can predict it with almost, divine precision. Do you understand? So it has worked so much for me, this particular bucket of asset energy, that I can almost tell you that don't worry, I've not done it bad. Don't worry. I know when I will do it. Those that are close to me, they know. And when I sit on it, I get it done. Energy. Have you learned how to engineer your energy to make sure that it works for you? Do you get it? I'm telling you, see, Anita says we know. I don't even know who that is. Declare yourself. Right. It has to be Osara Dion. So my point is, this is your bucket. This is your asset. This is what you need to own. This is like the crate. It's crate squared. If you forget anything today, please don't forget. Because like I said, when you just think that, this class, there's more coming. So just hang on, just chill, go and find popcorn and water and make sure that you're here. I promise you, make sure that you're here, right? So crate is what your asset is. Crate is also how you manage it, right? You calibrate capacity, you regulate your responsibilities, you allocate your attention wisely, you track and you treasure your time, you engineer and you engage your energy. It is powerful if you understand this. It makes a lot of sense. And it can, like I tell you, is a new mental model. From today, don't tell yourself, oh, I'm going to, I want to focus more. No. I want to allocate my focus. I want to allocate my attention to this thing. I choose what to give attention. When people bring gist for me, some kind of gist that is not productive, I can zone out immediately. Because I know what. Oh, you don't know that gist also uses a part of your brain. Let's not go there. Gist uses a part of your brain. When you just think that you are laughing and you're enjoying yourself, it uses a part of your brain. So you're spending currency. You're spending. Let's continue. Right. So we've moved from own to rank. Remember, we are in the order framework. So now that we know what we own, the next thing we want to do is we want to rank it. What exactly deserves me? And I'm not saying this in a condescending way, rather. I'm saying this in a way that, so you move into a place of, oh, now that I know that I have these assets, how do I want to spend it? Right? So Dangote and all the rich men, they do not necessarily get, what's the word now? They do not necessarily get all the super investments. They create the gist, Miriam. They do not necessarily get all the investment options in the world. As much money as they have, as rich as they are, they choose where to invest their money in, right? So they rank certain investments better than some others, following some metrics. That is the same way that you must understand how your assets work. The assets you own, you want to rank how you're going to spend them. So come with me, right? Not everything deserves equal access to you. That one is a fact. And it's not a bad thing or a good thing. It's just not everything deserves equal access. Not every story, not every gist, not every project, even if it's a good project, not every activity, not every person. Do you understand? Okay, so let's move on. And here we're going to do a simple, what is to call it now? Task, a simple class, right? We're going to find our responsibility value ratio. Right? What this means is, and we're going to do some mathematics. By the way, let me just give you a gist, right? If you think that this class is going to be great, then you want to get in on redesigning my 2026. We have 2 hours today. We're going to have 4 hours on the 5th of September. We'll have an amazing panel session. Then I will coach you on how to make September, October, November, December such a banger. And you'll be like, I didn't know that 4 months could outdo 7 months or 8 months. I'm telling you, if you really are enjoying this class, you really want to get it on that session. It's a session for, like, it's a mastermind. So let's do small work here. So testimony, help me share the link to redesigning my 2026, right? In the chats. So people can actually get in on that. If you're already registered for that, that's great. This is your pre-event. If you're not registered for that, you should register. So find your responsibility value matrix. Bring your value ratio. Bring out your phone. Bring out your calculator. This is what we're going to do now. Identify 5 responsibilities. We're going to do the work, guys. So, because I'm going to ask some of you. You people who know that this is a training. So we ask you, you have to answer. Especially those are my senior management, growth party guys, you better be doing the assignments. Identify 5 responsibilities that you have. So let's say I'm a team lead at church, I am a manager at work, I am a sales executive. So identify 5 responsibilities that you have that you currently manage. Do it sharp, sharp. Do it now. Once you've done it, give me a thumbs up. Write it down. Responsibility 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number 1, I'm a father. I have a child. And number 2, I'm a this. Number 3, I'm a that. So write it out. So Kelly has done it. That's great. Who else has done it? By the way, Growth Buddy, thank you for this gift. It was so good. Or rather, it is so good. I'm loving it. It's like so massive. So identify 5 responsibilities. Who else has done it? I'm only seeing like 4 thumbs up. Don't waste our time, guys. We're going far. We want to rush. Great. So you've written down 5 responsibilities that you have. All right. Now, in front of where you wrote those responsibilities, if you're using a pen and a paper, draw a column. If you're using a notepad, somebody's hands is up. Is that a mistake or you have a question? Okay, probably a mistake. If you're using a notepad, draw in front of that notepad. If you're using a digital device, that's fine, right? Write expected impact and write importance. So expected impact, and we're going to rate on a scale of 1 to 5 and do some mathematics here. Expected impact is basically if you achieve that responsibility well, you do it 100%, right? What is going to be the impact of the success of that responsibility on your life? So I'm assuming that you have, a life plan or a life vision. And if you don't have a life plan or a life vision, go and register for RDM, right? I'm going to be teaching you the life compass framework as well. So let's say my life vision now is I want to be a billionaire. I'll keep it simple. Expected impact and importance separate. So EI is expected impact, IMP is importance. So expected impact so my goal, right? My life goal is I want to be a billionaire. Stay with me. This is more mathematics. It will stress your brain small, but stay with me. Now, the responsibility that I have is I'm currently the lead growth engineer at Growth Paddy. I am also the chief light bearer at Light and Skills. I also wrote a book, so I'm the author of a book. What are the other responsibilities that I have? I coach an amazing team of young people under Grow with TVM. I also do mentorship. I do speaking gigs. So I'm a speaker. So let's say 5, right? Now, on my goal of wanting to be a billionaire, let's assume, really, you should not have an only financial goal for your life plan, right? So life compass, we'll talk about that later. But on that goal, if I achieve 100% of the chief light bearer at Light and Skills, what is the impact of that on my goal of being a billionaire? Rate it on a scale of 1 to 5. For example, on my end now, I'll probably rate that maybe a 3 from an earthly framework. We, the OGs in the kingdom, we know that the more you do for God, the more you get. But I'm not preaching today, right? We're preaching in Light and Skills community. But from a logical man, you'd be like, oh, she's spending money, doing discipleship programs and running, Bible frameworks and doing Christian conference. So that is probably going to deplete from my billionaire goal, right? Maybe not. So put the impact of the responsibilities that you have listed, rate it on a scale of 1 to 5 in terms of expected impact. Does that make sense? Did you land? Give me a thumbs up, give me an emoji, please, everybody, so I know that I'm not losing you. I don't want to lose anybody. Okay, Deborah doesn't understand still. The rest of us, anybody that doesn't understand, you can give me the thinking emoji. All right, so I'll take it one more time so everybody gets it. You've written down 5 responsibilities. Okay, I see some people. So listen carefully. You've written down 5 responsibilities. I want you to rate each of those 5 responsibilities on a scale of 1 to 5, on a scale of 1 to 5, on a scale of 1 to 5, on their expected impact on your life goal. So if one responsibility that you wrote is, I am a team leader at Growth Paddy. I head the sales team at Growth Paddy. I am a graphic designer at Growth Paddy. I'm a social media at Growth Paddy. What is the impact of that responsibility on your life's goal or on your life's vision. So I'm assuming that you have a life goal. For some people, is I want to live a software life, so I want to make money. So if growth party, for example, is your current revenue stream, it is what gives you the most money, that probably will rate high if your life goal is I want to make money. What I'm trying to teach you is that responsibility cascade from somewhere. They do not just exist in isolation. If you don't have a goal that you're chasing, even though you've not defined what your life goal is, and if you're those people that have not written down things about their life goals, you really want to be in that session on the 5th of September. But let's take something for the purpose of this assignment. Take something and put it, set your eyes on it, or put your mind on it, or write it down as this is my life goal. So everything I'm going to be weighing is against this thing, this vision that I have for my life, this future that I see. Now, rate your responsibilities. This one, rate it on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 to 5, 1 to 5, 1 to 5 for each life goal. Have you done that? Great. If you've done it, give me a thumbs up. If you've done it, give me a thumbs up. Fantastic, fantastic. Second thing, we're going to rate now the same responsibilities on order of importance. Now, it might sound close, it might look like it's close, but it's not. Expected impact is what you expect that responsibility to achieve for you. Importance is the current level of importance that you have attributed to that thing, or that it has in your life right now. So it might not be huge in terms of impact in your life vision, but right now for you, it is important. For example, some people will be like, I don't have a job, but I'm volunteering somewhere. But this volunteering is not really paying me money, right? So in terms of expected impact, it might not necessarily rank high. It might rank a 2 or a 3 because, well, it can give me experience that eventually get me money. It's not direct. But in terms of importance, this is currently the most important thing that I do. Does it make sense? Is anybody confused on the difference? Thank you, Abigail. Thank you, Miriam. We're moving. Okay, Sonia doesn't get it. Sonia, right now you're doing a couple of things. Oh, you get it. Okay. So everybody gets it, right? So now let's rate it. By now you should have 2 ratings. Fantastic. Fantastic. Now, your responsibility value ratio, right, is your expected impact divided by the importance times 100. I want to see your scores once you do it. So I want to know for each responsibility. So this particular responsibility, you gave it a 3/5 on expected impact. This one, you gave it a 2/5 on importance, right? So 3/5 times, or 3/2, whatever you gave it, times 100/1. Is anybody confused on my mathematics? Is anybody confused? I want to see your scores in the chat. So I want to see it in the chat. Who is Tega, is your yes mark confused? So for example, let me give you the example. So I got 100. So for those who are getting 100, it means it is just, okay, let me explain it a bit. You got it up to the point of expected impact, right? Okay, my battery is low, guys. Let me plug my laptop. I always forget to plug my laptop. All right, we are saved. I was going to go off. So you got it, Tega. I hope that I have to run though. So I'm going to explain it once and then we move. You've rated your expected impact. You've rated your importance on a scale of 1 to 5. Now, divide or do a mathematics. your RVR is equal to the number you got from your expected impact divided by the number you got on your importance ratio, your importance rating times 100. So let's say that you had one responsibility. Let me just give you a quick example. You had one responsibility was a sales leader or sales executive member. And in terms of importance, you gave it a 5, right? In terms of expected impact, you gave it a 5. When you do that division, it will give you a 100% ratio, which means that the level of importance you've attached to that responsibility is equal to the level of impact that that responsibility has. So there's no what's the word now? There's no, in French you say décalage. I don't know why the English word is not coming to me now. It's not, the scale is balanced, right? You're doing as much there as it will contribute to your future. So that's like an almost ideal scenario, but not very ideal. If you got, did anybody get up to 150 in any of their responsibility? So that's how you interpret it, right? If you got to 150 to 200%, that's a high value responsibility, right? It means that there's a huge expected impact relative to its importance. It means you are attributing lesser importance to that activity than you should. So if you got over 100 in any responsibility, your life goal, your life compass is telling you, hold on, pay attention to this. Let me give an example so some of my people would not like. You currently work at Light and Skills. It's a faith-based organization. We don't pay you money yet, right? For some of us, some of you are paid, some of you are not paid. Most of you are not paid, right? And in your importance ratio, you rated it maybe 2/5. But your life goal is that I want to be a kingdom-minded, wanting. So you now see that you rated it in expected impact, maybe a 5, right? And then in importance, you rated it, we will have to get board and marker. It's simple maths, guys. You rated it a 2. So you will now see that that thing will shoot over 100. What that score is telling you is that pay attention to that activity, to that responsibility that you're currently neglecting, because it has a higher impact on your life goals. Does that make sense? If you got below 100, it's questionable. It means you're currently attributing more importance to something that is not really yielding so much, or that will not really yield so much in your roadmap into life. Does that make sense, guys? I have to move from here though. Did we get it? Okay. All right. Now, the final mathematics you will do, and you will not tell me the score, you will do it for yourself, is that you will multiply that number by your leverage score, right? I would explain what leverage is and I will move, because I'm going to teach extensively about leverage on the 5th of September. So leverage is that thing that you do, that if you do it well, it will make the other things not matter so much. Let me give an example. Sonia does partnership for Made to Shine conference happening in September. She does partnership for Great Africa Summit. She does supporting with Skill Paddy Academy and whatnot. Sonia has to find her leverage vis-a-vis her role in the TVM team. She works with me. What is the one thing that if she does it so well, I can ignore the other thing? If Sonia comes and closes a deal of 5 million naira, do you think I want to come and be complaining that, Sonia, you missed class for Skill Paddy Academy? I mean, you get, right? So you look at your responsibilities and you assign each of them a leverage score, but that's later. When you now multiply your RVR times your leverage score, and you will see with clarity the maybe not single, but one of the most important things that you should put your eyes on. Do you understand this thing that I've just shared with you? Did it land, guys? Do I have permission to move on? I have to move on. Okay. So now that we've done all of that, you take all that information and then you audit and prioritize your life, right? You take all that information, you audit and you prioritize your life. So before you do anything else, you renegotiate something, you ask yourself 4 questions. Does this bring me joy? Does it bring me fulfillment? Is it moving me closer to my long-term vision? All of these things that I have shared with you in the past. I have to move on because of time. And something I have to tell you here is sometimes you're not choosing between good and good timing. Between good and bad, you're choosing between good and good timing, right? Sometimes, right? So sometimes right now, this thing can make a lot of sense for you, but it's probably not the best time to do it. You can do it another time and you will still get the same result or even better results. Personal example. So this year I enrolled in Bible school, right? And I started Bible school and it was going well. But I had to drop out. I had to like send an email and say I have to reassess my, because when I entered the second half of the year, I'm just like, what's going on here? I thought this was going to be a chill year. Last year was back to, and I really thought it was going to be me and the Lord, and I had to. So it was in that sense of 2026, the Lord was calling me to something more. And I went and registered for Bible school, and I still want to do Bible school. But when I started, I had to realize that I was simply doing it to keep up, right? I was doing it to keep up with assignments. I was doing it to keep up with, I was not, my mind, this was not the way I wanted to do Bible school. There was just too many things happening. So I look and I evaluated using this framework that we just did. And I had to drop out of Bible school. And I had to say, I want to come back for a next cohort next year. But from now to December, there's already something that is clearly mapped out that we have to do, right? Now, I didn't necessarily just get up and say, I want to close my company. I want to resign my job. I want to do this. Do you understand? So a lot of the time, what young people are doing is, once we are overwhelmed, we just drop off something. You must go through that route of what I showed you before you decide whether you're dropping something, whether you're renegotiating something, because every time, sometimes you can review things, you can renegotiate it, right? You can reduce it. You don't always have to remove. There are so many different routes, especially if it has a key role to play in your life goal. So my team members and most of the young people that I coach, when you come to me and you tell me that, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to quit my job, I always tell you guys, vis-a-vis your life plan, I always ask you, have you thought about it? Do you understand? Does it go with your roadmap? If it does, fantastic. But if it is for I just feel overwhelmed reason, then that's not a very sustainable system. Okay? So prioritize your responsibilities. This is an example of my own life right now, right? At number 5, I have my core responsibilities, leading my team, supporting my parents, what's the word? Building light and skills. That's at number 5. At number 4, I have my strategic growth, which is how do I increase myself. At number 3, I have the operations of my different teams. So review this document, do this, all of those things. And number 2, I have learning. And number 1, everything else, right? You never allow number 1 to interrupt number 5 constantly. You've not done your job, but there's a match that you need to, let's not do that. Let's move on. I don't want to be dragged. Before they will drag me, right? So now let's move on to the third part. And we're going closely. Well, we're making more progress in short time than I thought we'd be making. Guys, stay with me. I know it's a lot of information, but stay with me, all right? So we've gone through the own framework. We're going through the other framework. We've talked about own, and you own your crate assets. And how do you manage your crate asset? Through the crate method. So it's crate squared. We've talked about your R, right? Which is really your, what did I say is R now? Reminds me, guys, I'm forgetting my own self. What is R?
Responsibility.
R is not responsibility. R is not responsibility.
Ranking.
R is, I remember that I'm like, responsibility bow. You rank, right? Once you know what you own, then you rank how you want to allocate it, you want to spend it. And now we're going to deploy, right? So everything that we're talking about, this mathematics that we did, was to allow you to be able to rank it properly, to rank the responsibilities that you have properly, right? So now we're talking about deploying. Not that you know what you should focus on, you know the key responsibilities in your life. You know which one should take 100%, 90%. They're not going to execute themselves. I know some people were wishing that I don't talk about this one, but I don't know how it's possible. Do you get? It's not really going to do itself. You have to execute it. You should have to do the work. So how do you now command this resources? How do you command these resources that you have? How do you deploy? What do you deploy? What do you do to execute? right? That's what we're going into. And the first thing I want to teach you here is outcome-based actions. And from here, we'll be going really fast because this one has simple context and simple tools, right? Outcome-based actions. That's the first strategy you use in deploying or in executing responsibly, in executing, what's the word now? Optimally. An example that I use, 3 outcomes weekly. You are somebody that manages multiple responsibilities. So I won't just say one, right? Even though you can do one. But I look at myself and I be like, this week, what are the 3 outcomes that I want? Not what are the 3 activities. Not what are the 3 most pressing things I need to do. No. What are the 3 outcomes that I want? Do I want more money in our bank account this week that I know what to chase? Do I want my team members to improve their productivity rates this week? Do I want us to be in talks with certain government or whatever this week? Do I want to be closer by 10% to the goals? So the outcomes, right? Then you cascade that outcome into action. So for example, this week I want to close a deal with Wema Bank. That's one outcome that I want. Or let's say I want to be 3 steps or 2 steps or 1 step closer to closing a deal with Wema Bank. That outcome can translate into multiple actions. I now say, so 1, I have to follow up the relationship if I have already established it, or I have to send an email, or I have to design a proposal for Wema Bank, or maybe do all 3, right? So the outcome I want is what will determine the activities that I now want to do. Then once you've done that, you calendarize. This is the part where I want to be shouting, but shouting is not really my strategy. You calendarize it. You do not just say, okay, I want to do this, and you just leave it. Some of you write it on a notepad. That's fine, but it's not good enough. Put it in your calendar. Put it in your calendar. Let it go there. Do you understand? Let it be there so that you know that it is something that you have to do. Right? It has become an activity that is much. Anyways, let's move on. So give every important task a place and a time. Don't just say, oh, I'm going to work on a proposal. No. I'm going to do my proposal draft between 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. That's it. These small things, these seemingly small, mundane things are really what distinguish you that is a medium, average, that's the word, average performer from a high achiever. I promise you. So that's what makes some people tell me, how many of you have told me about something and I tell you, oh, remind me by this time. And I say, oh, check in with me at this time, my staff. It's not because at the time, give me a thumbs up, right? I do that. It's not because at the time you're telling me it's not important. It's because, again, I tell you, I allocate my attention under the CRATE framework. It's because I have allocated a time I work on it on my calendar. So when I tell you check in on me by 5 p.m., it is going to be on 5 p.m. on my calendar. That's how responsible high achievers work. I'm telling you this thing. It's for free. The next thing I want to teach you is how to command your calendar. Now that you and this is a powerful framework, right? Now that you have calendarized it, you now have multiple things on your calendar. Meeting by 3 p.m., speak with Victory by 4 p.m., review proposal by 6 p.m. All of these things that you have to do. You can adjust it such that you're no longer reacting, oh, time has come for this, let me just do it. You are designing it. Know your natural rhythm. And I promise you, this is probably one of my biggest hacks for being a high achiever. I know my natural rhythm. When I wake up in the morning, I am not at my most brightest self. If you have conversations with me in the morning, I am functional, but I am not optimal. Right? My mornings are usually when I do my prayers, my routine, I take some time, I meditate, I laze around on my bed. You know, my team knows you don't fix a meeting for me before 10 a.m. You don't do it. Nobody puts anything on my calendar before 10 a.m. Why will you do that? Like, why? So I have understood my energy. I have, we said that you engineer your energy. Now I engineer my energy to work for me. I am a night person. If you are close to me, you know that most likely on a weekday, Victory is up by 2 a.m. That we say you need to have 8 hours of sleep, and that's good. But my 8 hours can start from 4 to 11. Do you get? So I don't have to. This is not applicable to you if you go to work every day from Oshodi to Bega or from let me just disclaimer. We're talking about people managing multiple responsibilities. So this is assuming that you are doing multiple things that you can afford to do. Let's be guided. All right. So don't come and be like, I'm a night person. So I work at 4 a.m. and then by 11 a.m. you're still sleeping, and then you show up late at work. They will fire you. You better adjust your routine or you adjust your job. If you cannot adjust your job, you quit and you come and apply at Growth Party. We work remote. Okay, so back to that was on a lighter note. So I have mastered my what's it called now? My energy. Now I engineer my energy to work for me. My hardest work, the time I do, my team members know. Sometimes I drop messages on the group by 4 a.m. I'm just dropping it there, and they're like, what's going on? They will just wake up. Victory has dropped like message. I'm doing this. I do my hardest work at night. Yeah, Victory is coding. I'm telling you, the engineer in my name. I started calling myself engineer last year, but that engineer in my name is already manifesting. I'm coding. I coded an entire full workflow. I sent to my team. I did it from 11 p.m. to 6:30 a.m. that day, and I was just dropping it. Victory added 20 comments on the document. Yes, at 2 a.m. That's my strategy because I am most optimal at that time. I have engineered my energy to work for me, right? Some of you know that you just can't concentrate at night, but you keep postponing it and you keep having the audacity to tell your boss, I'll get it done this evening. And I'm like, you and I know that when it's 8 p.m., Miriam is already sleeping, but Miriam is saying that she will get it done this evening. Who are you deceiving? Just say that you get it done tomorrow morning. Because like Miriam is sending me a message by 7 a.m. And I'm like, why are you sending me a message at 7 a.m.? The girls are still asleep. Right? So this is such an important way to command your calendar. Know your natural rhythm and engineer it to work for you. Super important. In the afternoons, I'm doing a lot of meetings. Most of my meetings are in the afternoon. Sometimes I take a break. I call my family, do some rest the day that you have to rest and all of those things. But you engage your energy. Since you now know that this is the time, I've engineered it around this time, then you make sure that you engage it to work for you at that time, right? So let's move on. The attention budgets. I already explained this when I was explaining crates, that you allocate your attention, right? So this is another strategy in deploying the resources that you have. You have a limited budget daily. Every day, you do not have 24 hours of attention. I need to do some research into how many percent attention, how many percent of your day you actually have attention. I don't know if somebody has done that research, but I can guarantee you do not have 24 hours attention. You cannot concentrate 24 hours on 24 hours a day. Even people that did Guinness World Record, you will see when Hilda Bassi was doing it, at some point she's like, but she's just going. She's not concentrating, but she's just going. So attention is a mental task, right? You allocate it wisely. So you don't ask yourself, do I have time for this? No. Is this worth spending my attention currency on? If yes, how much of it can I give? So a lot of I learned this thing a bit late, right? I knew it theoretically, but I learned and started to apply it a bit late. A lot of my friends said, oh, how did you, can we get on the call? Can I pick your brain? Can I do? And I used to do a lot of that. By the time they have picked your brain 10 times, within a single day, you are spent. Do you get? They brought to your DM some matter. And that's why some of you, when you text me, especially my staff members, when you bring a problem to me, I probably just view it once and I close it. Because I do not want to spend my attention on this at this time. Do you get? And if I decide how much attention I need to spend on it, I will now calendarize it. So don't ask you, oh, do I have time for this? Can we get on a call? Do I have time? No. You decide. Is this call worth spending my attention on? And if it is worth, how much attention do I want to spend on it? My ISEC people did it recently. Most times I will get on calls 1 whole hour. I'm coaching ISEC. We're just there talking. They don't pay me because I'm an alumni. They don't give me money. They don't give me anything. I'm just coaching ISEC. This year, I'm like, I'm not doing that. If you want, I'm giving you 30 minutes. Let's go. Do you understand? Right. So that's another strategy. Another one I want to teach you here, also very closely related to attention, is batching. Is a hack. Batch, like arrange your work in batches. If I'm sending emails, I send emails, like especially emails that I know I'm supposed to send. Just batch send your emails, batch send your communication. I come to WhatsApp, I respond to all your messages at once. I do creative batch. When I'm thinking, I'm working, I'm doing planning, deep work, I batch them for 9. So stop switching from I'm sending an email here, jumping to a call here, responding to it on WhatsApp. You're just everywhere, running around. Waiting. You will job. You there. So that is showing that you are reactive rather than commanding your own calendar and allocating your attention. Allocate it as much as you can, especially for those of you that have outcome-based roles. Nobody is chasing. Everybody catch your song. So even if something that your boss is asking you, of course, read your society policy. Even if he's not asking you right now, it will not be disrespectful and it will not be wrong to say, Mark, I'm going to respond to this by 6 p.m. when I'm sending emails. Or I'm going to, I plan to attend to all of this by 5 p.m. So that if that 5 p.m. doesn't work, she will tell you, no, I need it now. That's an exception. If it works, okay, right? So don't just be running around like a headless chicken. That's what they call it. Let's move around. Let's move. The action rules. When it's time to walk. I don't have plenty things to say here. When it's time to work, actually do the work. Right? Put your work on your calendar. Set your alarm. Work on the proposal. Once the alarm rings, so recently Alexa has been a pain in my ear. Every 10 p.m. This is a reminder. Review your to-do list. And I'm like, Alexa, just shut up. But set it in your alarm. Once the alarm rings, doing the work. Don't delay it. Do you understand? If you want to add a pre-alarm to the alarm to allow yourself mentally ease into it, that's fine. You want to do the proposal by 2 p.m., set a pre-alarm for 1:30 so that you can ring, get ready to do the proposal. So you have 30 minutes to wrap up what you're doing. Excuse me. And when 2 p.m. rings, you're doing the proposal. Do you understand? Right? So that's an action rule. Anybody who will be somebody that manages more, you must have action rule. Once you set commitment, it's like you had a date with somebody, you don't stand them up. You don't just disappear. Except it's very important. So once you've set a date with your proposal that you're going to do it by that 2 p.m., do not procrastinate because you're watching the 15th episode of the Korean series. Don't do it. Set pre-alarm so that you know that 30 minutes time, I have to start it. So you now know, do I want to go to the next episode or do I just stop it here? Do you get? I told you I'll keep it real. And I told you I will keep it real. Okay. If you cannot start it, that's the last one. You cannot start it. Don't turn off the alarm. Snooze it for 10 minutes. Snooze it for 15 minutes. Do not turn it off. Don't off it. Do not off that mic, honorable. I'm telling you now, I will drag it out of your chair. Let's continue. I have to go fast. I'm telling you this, I can't wait for the 5th of September. Because then I will take my time and explain some things. And 5th of September, we're coaching. We're not just teaching. Which means that I'm going to be giving you guys a workbook. And you'll be doing the workbook. By the time end of the session, you will have a game plan for September to December. That's the plan. So please, don't miss that session, right? So another thing you want to do in the deploy system is you want to build a system that reduces your mental load. This one is pretty easy. Okay, so this is a fake snapshot of what my system looks like. Yes, there are days that I switch, but it's not a lot. Especially when some things are high priority. So Mondays, growth party, Wednesdays, light and skills. So I have theme days. You can have theme days. Mondays, proposals, Tuesdays, meetings, Wednesdays, research, Thursdays, whatever it is around what you're doing. It helps. You might not necessarily respect it 100% because you are not living in isolation. There are other people that are working with you, but it helps you to just know how to prioritize. So you pick one thing or two things per day that you must achieve for each of these your theme days. Then you know that the day that is not a theme day, you work on emergency tasks that you get or anything that is urgent, and so on and so forth. So let me move on. I don't want to spend a lot of time here. When you do a lot of context switching from here to here, from here to here, it fatigues your brain. And yes, sometimes it can work, but in the short term. I'm teaching you a system for years. If you master this, you can be a high achiever consistently. It's not like this quarter, they'll say, you're doing well. The next quarter, your performance has dropped. No. So I'm not just teaching you a get-rich-quick scheme. Fix it now. No. Okay? We're going into the path that, I love all the paths, but we're now closely or tending towards the end where I have some things I want. I don't even know why Miriam is laughing. So get one central task tracker. This is a simple but an underrated strategy that really works. If you use multiple journals, you're going to juggle from multiple places. That's fine if you need to jot down your thoughts. But in terms of your activities and your tasks, have it in one central place. If you're using Google Task Tracker, use Google. Everything that comes, whether it's coming from Light and Skills, it's coming from Growth Africa Summit, it's coming from Scale Paddy, everything enters there. There are some platforms like Todoist. I use Todoist and I'm using it for recently, and I really love it. Todoist allows you to section your activities. So you can create sub projects like Growth Paddy, Scale Paddy, whatever, and can create it. But everything goes there. So once you click or you open your inbox, you're seeing, right? Because this is where things get lost in transmission. You're on a meeting and your boss says, okay, so please don't forget to send me that document. Oh, yes, ma, yes, ma. We always overrate our brain. Why? Your brain is for thinking and strategy. It's not a dustbin. Your brain is not a dumping ground. Don't just be dumping things and forcing your brain to remember what. Come on now. You overrate your brain. Somebody's talking, that thing, instead of you to just open your to-do list tracker and do it. And I'm not saying just writing down anywhere. This, your central task tracker, must be something that is handy. So if it lives in your laptop, it is not good enough. It must be something that can be on your phone. Because sometimes you will not be able to go and open your laptop and get that spreadsheet. Do you understand? So it must be something that as the person is talking, you can just note it. Okay, I will do this, I will do it. If not, you'll be the person that's always saying, oh, I'm so sorry, I skipped my mind. And it's meant to skip your mind because your brain is not a dumping ground. Please say it in your mind or say it out loud. My brain is not a dumping ground. My brain is not a dumping ground. My brain is for strategic thinking. It is not to dump things. The way you dump your laundry basket. Oh, this clothes is dirty. Dump it there. That's not what you do. Then you're like, oh, I'll come and wash it later. And because you discover that you are now looking for which one did you. Come on, let's not do that. So pick a task tracker and then make sure that you do it. Please do it now. I want you to actually do this activity. If you can, you already have option, write it down. If you don't have options, research which tab. I mentioned one, Todoist. Go and download it on Play Store. Very simple. Or use your notes apps and coin a page, right? Everything that comes goes in there without exceptions. Okay? And then as we start to wrap up the deploy phase, I'm going to tell you, you're measuring progress, not business. So I already told you the outcome strategy. Don't ask yourself, oh, what do I have to do next week? Ask yourself, what will make next week successful? And then you write it out. I give you 3. So you don't wake up and say, oh, what should I work on today? You tell your week what success looks like. That's exactly what the strategy. So I know if I'm going to have a good week or not. Most times you guys see me on Friday and be like, please give me Netflix recommendation, because I'm like, yes, this is the week I wanted. Because I know. But if you don't have a picture of what success looks like, even when you achieve it, you will not know. And you will not know to reward yourself. You will not know to caution yourself or to correct yourself, because you are just doing activities. And this is the pitfall here is that you might do a huge task that week and be feeling good about yourself, but that huge task does not translate to success. But then at the end of the week, you'll be like, I beg, I don't try. But what did you do? You made 100 calls. But if you had sat down at the beginning of the week to define what does success of this week look like, I'm pretty sure, I'm not pretty sure, in this example, 100 calls might not have been part of it. But your brain will respond to the information that it has. So because your brain did not know what success of that week looked like, by the end of the week, your brain would translate you being on 100 meetings as I've had, oh more, this week was a lot. It was such a good week. And really, I want to speak one Yoruba, but I don't know how to speak Yoruba. You'd be like, Koleshe, Koleshe, she. You supposed to speak Yoruba for me in the comments. Like, it's not really going. It didn't work. It really wasn't a good week. You just spend the week being a busy bee. And you didn't achieve nada. Do you understand this thing I'm telling you guys? It sounds like joke and vibes and all, but I'm telling you this thing that would distinguish you from the next person. This is, I'm telling you, they are spirit-inspired strategies. I'm telling you straight from my father. Busy being broke. Nah, I wasn't the one that said it. It's my co-facilitator in the comment section. So do not wake up wondering, what should I work on today? No. And then tell your week what success looks like. Internalize it. Let it be a routine and a ritual for you. Do not go into the week without determining, this is what will make my week successful. So that when you achieve it, your brain can recognize it. As a matter of fact, if you write it down, I was telling my team, I don't know when, last week or 2 weeks ago, that there is power. It's a spiritual law as well. There is power in writing things down. It's like confessing things. It's like you extrapolate it from your brain into the atmosphere. You release it. When you put it out there, your brain will work. The environment and the elements in the universe will work in alignment with you to achieve those things. You see it in front of you, right? We're not preaching, but that's what the Bible says. Write the vision. See it before your eyes. Know what a successful week looks like. Tomorrow is weekend. 22 is Sunday. Know what the rest of the month should look like. By the time you are at 30th of August, what should success look like between now and today? Write it down. So now that you've done that, you probably have tasks and all of those things that you want to sort. So this is just a simple tip for how you sort multiple tasks that come your way, because you get multiple things. You guys, you think that it's only the employers of labor. There are some employers here, some founders, some creators, some influencers. We also get a lot of tasks, multiple documents to review, multiple meetings to attend, all of this. So this is applicable anywhere, right? You capture and log. Once a new thing comes, freshly assigned task, your boss says do this, or you give yourself a task to do this, capture it, log it. So sort it, where is it going to be? Put it in your tracker. If something comes, it is under 5 minutes. For the love of God, do it now. Just do it. Your boss says, oh, please remind me to do this. As you're hearing it, okay, ma, I'm setting a reminder. Remind Victory to do this by that. It takes you less than a minute. Don't now put another reminder in your brain to remind you to remind Vic. Why are you doing that? And you want to be a high achiever. Like, why? I don't get it. So if it's under 5 minutes, maybe conservative, under 3 minutes, just do it. Don't dump it in your brain, and don't dump it in your schedule, because probably the time you will use to put it in your schedule, you could have just done it. If the email is like 3 lines, hi, just checking to see if you received the document, send. If it won't take me 5 minutes, if the email is logged on my phone and I can send it on my phone, I'm doing it. Except it's an email I need to sit down and craft, or I need my laptop for. So that's a strategy. Yes, don't suffer your brain. Your brain is an asset. Your brain is such an important asset. Don't stress it. Don't give it unnecessary. That's not helping it. There are more significant things you have to do with it to really automate excellence. And I will show you on the 5th of September. So please don't be stressing it with the things that technology can take care of, or just a small discipline here can take care of, right? When you get a clear deadline from your team leader, right? So there are some tasks that might come without deadline. You will use your initiative and there are some tasks that might come with a clear deadline, right? Set 2 reminders. This is a hack. Set 2 reminders to work on it. If it comes with a clear deadline, that means it's a priority, it's an important task. Nothing upsets me more than when I give somebody a task and I give them a deadline and they forget about it. Or they come after the deadline to come and tell you that, oh, their laptop spoiled. So set 2 reminders to do it. If the deadline is on a Friday, don't set your reminder for Friday. Set your reminder for a Tuesday or a Wednesday. Of course, this is a reminder to deliver the task. So set it for Tuesday or Wednesday so that you have one reminder Wednesday to do this. And of course, you should have gone into your calendar time block when you actually want to do it. And then another reminder on the day so that you have time. In case it slips your mind once, you have time to work on it. In case you need to redraft, you have that time. If you get, and I'm not saying you should do this for every task. If your direct supervisor gives you a task with a clear reminder, set a deadline. Or you give yourself a task with a clear deadline, rather. Set a reminder. You give yourself a task and you rate this task important. I want to do this before this time. Please respect yourself enough to actually set a reminder to do it and block the working time. Then for tasks that you've carried over, some of you have carried over some task. I don't know how that thing still exists. You've been carrying it over from March, April, May, June. You've carried over from one week to the next week. You're tired. Even your boss is tired of reminding you. He's tired. He's tired of reminding you. He has closed it in your chapter. You are carrying it over, or it is an overdue task. You can reevaluate and you can renegotiate it, right? So if it's you that gave yourself the task, reevaluate. Like, is it still worth it based on everything? Because why am I carrying it over and over? So it shows that there's something here. And I also teach on how to automate excellence, about how to optimize the quality of work that you do. Some of you have been in that class. I talked about it. So most times I said in that class that most times when you are carrying over a certain task, you keep pushing it, is because your brain probably doesn't have direct clarity on what to do. You know it vaguely, but you just can't get yourself to start. So you keep pushing it. And I teach you how to mitigate that bottleneck, right? That's a bonus that we're going to give. I will send that slide as a bonus to everybody that registered for this event. So if you have overdue tasks or tasks that you've carried over, you reevaluate the task or you negotiate. Go to your boss like a responsible person, right? And say, Ma, I've been carrying over this task for a while, and it's either maybe I don't understand or I don't really know how to go about it, or can I do it at this time? Renegotiate a new timeline, renegotiate a new, maybe more brief or something, right? Don't just be carrying over endlessly. Okay, so these are just strategies to sort some of the things you're doing. It declutters your brain. There is such a thing as a mental clutter. You know, some of you who enter a room and the room is just scattered and you can't function. My team members, they know. If you send me a document that looks like it has gone through the walls of Jericho, just collapsed on it, I can't review it. It's not pride. I just can't function looking at the document like that. Like, what do you mean this one is in bold, that one is in different color? Like, what's going on? I just tell them, I'm like, please, do you get? Because it's automatically, it just scatters my brain. I can't review it. So you will clean up the formatting, then I can review it. I can review the content. So I do not subscribe to that WhatsApp group, right? That, just review the content first. Let's move on. So we are now in the second to the last part of the framework. You guys, you're doing well. And if you were not writing, I really don't know how, you're going to capture everything that I'm saying, but I expect that you were jotting, right? Let me just see people that were prepared for this class. If you're taking notes, let me see. Thumbs up. Greatness is not hard to find. So if you are taking notes, we are now in the second to the last part of the framework, which is the enrich. You are part of the system. You're part of the system. You are the core engine of the system. So while you want to do all these things that I've said, you want to calendarize, you want to allocate your attention, you want to block your alarms, you want to do this, you want to do that, you want all these tools. from O all the way to E. Ibube, is that a question? If it's a question, put it for me in the chat. And testimony, can you take that down? Or Sonia, because your hands are raised, and I'm hoping that. So just put it for me in the chat. Thank you. So you enrich yourself. You are part of the system. You learn, you grow, you recover, you take breaks. Whatever your recovery system is, because some of you just know rest. Rest is not the only recovery strategy. It's just one out of many other recovery strategy, right? So you are part of the system. A system that is constantly consuming its own resources will eventually scatter. It will break. Do you get? So you are a core part of the system. Some of my team members are like, yeah. So I gave them a memo that next week I am off. It's not really that I'm going to rest, or I'm going to rest, but I'm going to do some deep work that I cannot allow some other things to interfere. And that's also my own definition of rest, right? When you take personal retreats, okay, so you enrich, you find what works for you in terms of enriching. Recovery is not reward for like finishing a good work or a task. It is part and parcel of the process. Okay, so there are some things that you can use for recovery, like buy back your time. There's something that you shouldn't be wasting a lot of time on. Sometimes I'm not part of these people that subscribe endlessly to using AI, but technology should reduce your workload. A good example is this slide. It's made by Gamma. You can see it there. Now, it might not be the best design, but when I was working on it, this is an internal session. I'm not going to do a TEDx presentation. So why should I give my assistant, because it's not me, why should I tell testimony to spend 3 hours to work on a slide that I can just use Gamma to do in 10 minutes? Just why? Do you understand? So there are some slides that, yes, I have to work on it myself. Or in fact, when you put it in AI, you have to do some things. The design, the colors must align, all of those things. I don't mind. But there are some times that just, do this thing sharp. Do you get? So technology should reduce your workload. It should not increase. Learn how to use AI properly. I need to do another separate masterclass on AI usage and prompt engineering, responsible usage, and getting like verifiable, relevant data and work from AI. I'm telling you, this thing is mind-blowing. But that's just one. That's just AI. There's so many other different tools that you can use to make your work simple, right? That's one way to recover. That's one way to enrich yourself, to relax, learn, read books. Some of you, we've written Growth from Anywhere now. We've published it since December. You have still not bought your copy. You're waiting for me to give you a free copy. I will not give you a free copy of my book. Go and buy it. Sonia, post the link for them. Let them go and order it from Roving Heights. I can't spend months to write a book, publish it, pay for it, do book launch, and you think I will give you a free copy. No! Are you the less privileged? I won't do that. Go and buy. Thank you, Rita. Go and buy GFA. It will change your life. I'm telling you, it will change your life. That book is a gold mine. Anyways, I'm not here to sell GFA, but go and buy the book. Enrich yourself. Learn. Recover, rest. There are different ways. Okay? It's part of high performance strategy. See, let me tell you, I was telling somebody, a friend of mine that came from Benin Republic, right? Plus ma semaine est fou, plus je repose. That's what I told him in English. Like, the more my week gets, crazy, the more I do not joke with my rest. The more my calendar increases, the more I do not joke with my weekends. But people know now. My collaborators, them there. I just saw that Eze is here. He can testify. I will not answer you. I will not. The more projects I have to manage, the more sacrosanct my Saturday and Sundays are. Do you understand? Something really will have to be happening for me to respond to you. It's a strategy. There was a time in my life in 2022, 2023, I used to work Monday to Monday, Friday to Saturday to Sunday to Monday. But level changed. And I realized, and I don't have less work, I have more work. I'm telling you, the more I work, I'm planning by the grace of God to move into a 4-day work week. It's possible. It's possible. A 4-day work week, and I will still be doing more. Don't worry. And I'm not saying I'm sleeping throughout that Saturday and Sunday. I'm just saying that time is sacrosanct. It's my time for Sabbath. It's the time that I used to do what energizes me. And for some of you, it is sleep. For me, it's not just sleep. Sleep does not energize me. Yes, I relax, right? Sometimes I watch movies. Most times I read the Bible. Oh my God. You get into the Bible, you read, the Living Translation, you read NIV. You just love it. It just rejuvenates you. You're just like, no, we go again. These are things that re-energize you. Find what works for you. Some of you is going to be with your friends. It's going to do weekend getaway. There was a time in my life I used to love it. Now all my friends have run away. Zarietta here, let me drag her publicly. They have disappeared. They are all doing. We don't do girls hangouts anymore. I used to love it. I'm just like, let's just go and hang out in one shortlet. I'm telling you, this was before I even started making money. As far back as 2021, we done the shortlets. My friends will tell you. So my point is, say girls are now women. They are now mothers. When I go to their houses, I have to become an auntie. So, but the point I'm making here is recovery is a part of high performance. Don't see it as a cherry or the icing on the cake. No. It's a core strategy. Even if you work Saturdays, have one day that you rest, that you recover, that you do your strategic work. That's also the day that I pull back. So sometimes I'm not working. I'm just lying down. I'm doing visioning, which is some of what we're going to do on the 5th. I'm just imagining what growth party will look like. For some of you that are OGs in this company, I used to tell you guys that we will have our growth party house. I've been saying it since 2021. Before we got this place in 2024. My old team members will tell you that. I say I always dream of a future where we will have our growth house, and like my team members will just come, we'll work, we'll play, because that's the kind of team that I run. We do all of those things. And I'm still saying it now that growth party we will have hubs in all the corners of the country. There's going to be a south-south hub, there will be southeast, there will be southwest, there will be the north. So we will just have houses that are growth houses that our staff members can go and chill and work and do these things. It is in those rest moments that I project my mind into the future. These are things that re-energize me. So just when my team members think that, oh, there is a lot going on, maybe things are not going well, I say, don't worry, just give me some time. Let me retreat. I went on a retreat last year, right? And after the retreats, we feel them now. So let me go and let me visualize. That's what re-energizes me. That's how I rest. I just sit down and I picture things. I manifest it into our future, right? I write it down. I sleep. I also watch movie. And I eat parfait. We're watching our weights now, so we don't eat ice cream. Okay, let's go on. So now do some tasks, right? The goal is sustainability and not perfection. We're wrapping up, and I want you to do these things with me now. We have 20 minutes. I didn't even realize that we're going to finish in 2 hours. I love it. So action 1 and 2, we want to remove, we want to define, we want to regulate, we want to renegotiate, we want to pause. Based on the things that you know how to do, or rather the things that you're doing, right? Identify one commitment that doesn't fit this season anymore. Delete it, renegotiate it, pause it, reduce it, adjust it, right? For some of you, you might need to have conversations, right? I know, like, if you just come back from work on the 31st of August, maybe say I don't get like 5 resignations from my company. Say, Victory, are the one that say we should reduce, delete, review, renegotiate. It's fine as long as it's for your growth. Like, no wahala. You get? So, but identify one commitment, right? Make sure that you follow the RVR framework that we talked about. Identify one commitment that you review, you renegotiate. You can reduce it, you can renegotiate. To be like, I'm in church. I'm a team lead in church. You're team lead in 2 departments. You're doing, but at this time in this season, right? What we there's more pressing work that I even have for kingdom business. DDK used to say that kingdom is greater than church. The first time I heard it, I didn't understand it. That's a different conversation. So some of us were in church back to back to back to back to back, but you're not having time for kingdom business, for kingdom influence. Those of you that are believers and you have not registered for Made to Shine conference, whether to attend physically or virtually, we will fight. But when we go there, we will come there. Let's leave it. So renegotiate. Some of you, you might have to review your commitment in church, in work. You might have to exit some WhatsApp group. You're in the WhatsApp group. It's really not helping you. Leave. You join community, join, but you can't even really, just go. Leave there. Or reallocate it for a different time. Do you understand? So do that. Find one, do it now. Another thing, write your top 3 weekly wins for next week. This week is ending. For next week, identify my KPIs for people that I work in corporates. Next week is the last week of August, right? Literally the last week. 31st is a Monday. So literally the last week of August, which means that 2 months out of 3 months have gone. You have done 2/3 of your quarter 3. What is the one important thing? Is 2 important, the 3 most important thing that you must achieve next week to call that week a success. Tell your next week what success looks like. Do it now. This thing that I'm saying. My plan was to give you time to do it, but I want to take questions, so I want to run quickly, right? Actions 3 and 4. Protect and systemize. Build your operating system. Block time for deep work. Some of you, you need to sit down and block some time to actually work on your goals. Like you have just been doing activities, but you've not sat down to think about the strategy. Block that time now. Block it. Tuesday next week, 3 to 6 p.m. I'm not taking meetings. I don't have meetings as much as possible. I am not going to be working on proposal. I'm going to be working on the strategy to achieve what I have planned for my life. Block it. Right? And then choose a task tracker. I already told you guys before, choose one that works from today. You can't leave this call and you don't have a task tracker. Choose a task tracker. Choose something. It's not what will I call it now? It's not spreadsheet, because I know that within Growth Party now we use spreadsheets, weekly. It's not that one, because that one, you and I know that you only go and fill that thing before Monday stand up, and you don't go back to it till the next Monday. So choose something that is handy. Let technology work for you, not the other way around. Choose something that is handy on your phone in a small jotter that you always go around with. You always go around with it. If you want to use jotters, I don't advise it, but if you want to use jotter for the people who like writing, then that's fine. But let it be something that you always go around with, not be something that you will forget at home. Just saying now, okay? That's 3 to 4. And then the final action, schedule a time for your rest. Schedule a time for your recovery. It might be a time for you to just sleep. It might be a time for you to watch movie. It might be a time for you to gist with your friends. Like me now, I'm planning house party. Get together for my friends. I just saw it on Instagram. And somebody said, like, these adults, like, what's going on? Why do you people not meet up? You're just in the house alone, working. And I'm just like, it's true. Let's just take one Friday and sit down and gist and play games and leave our phones and engage. And I'm like, yeah, why not? I can do it. I will post it. So I put it on Instagram, and some of my friends were like, okay, they're interested. So I'm planning a house party. It will soon happen. It's not those kind of house party. If you've known my house, in this house party, we pray as well, and we laugh. So if you don't come, my friends, so let's move on. You get. So schedule your rest. That's a rest for me, right? I'll soon just pack my bag and go to Mrs. Odiase's house and be like, I'm here to just eat. Do you get? And do auntie duties, right? I just want to eat and do auntie duties. Don't stress me. I just go to her house. I carry my overnight bag. I go to Ope's house. Now Ope she goes to work now. I can't, it's not. So schedule your rest period. Schedule it. Schedule the time for your recovery. That's a better word, because some people is really not sleeping. Sleeping is good. Please sleep. Please sleep so you're not a walking zombie. But some of you have other things that re-energize you. Some of you is a debate. You just need to leave work and leave tech and just go and debate about something about government, and you will just be energized. For some of you, it's intellectual conversation. You want to join, conversations where people, talk about life, talk about relationships, talk about, I don't know what it is. Some of you is a good book. It's a good book. For me, sometimes it's a good book. Some of you just need to go and listen to some messages, So find that thing. Block it now. It can be tomorrow, it can be on Sunday, it can be next. Block it now. Okay? So in a nutshell, this is my operating system. This is my core principles. This is how I operate. It's not about avoiding work. Or it's not about drowning or surviving, right? Or just say, I'm just drowning. Oh, I can't do this. No. Most people know I don't really avoid work, right? It's really about building such rich bouquet of life that it can carry really what matters. And in a summary, all these things I've been teaching you, this is how I apply it to my life, right? So I have clarity over activity. As much as I do, if you check my life very well, you will see that there's a central theme to all the single thing, every single thing that I do, whether it is faith-based, whether it is with young people, whether it is with businesses, whether it is coaching, there's a central theme of it. And it's because there's clarity. It's not every single thing somebody invited me to a podcast one time, and I misread the podcast. It was a podcast on business, or so. That's what I thought. I think it was called She Means Business. So I thought it was business. And then when I got on the podcast, it was a podcast on women, feminism, and I love women. You guys know, talking about, all this. And I'm like, I was just on the podcast already. She's a celebrity. And I was like, oh Lord, give me the serenity to accept what I cannot change because I'm ready. But I have clarity. So that's really not on my radar. I'm not interested in those things, and they might be good, right? And I will say one that will trigger some people. As much as I'm for government and politics and all of these things, I don't invest much time in it, and you can't beat me. Do I vote? Yes. Will I vote? Yes. Will I spend 30 minutes arguing about who should be and who should not be? No, I will pray for you. If you think that a certain person should be our leader, I will pray for you and I will move on. I will not get into that argument with you. It is not part of my life vision. I cannot allocate 30 minutes for that conversation. I'm sorry. But if we have 30 minutes talking about systems for business growth, me and you can be there. Do you get? So it's not every volunteering team that you will find me. I'm just saying. You might not find me wearing t-shirts and parading and raising placard. Is not bad. It's great. For some people, that is their strategy. But I believe that one of the things that will change Africa is entrepreneurship, even more than politics. And yes, politics is important because governance and structure and policies, right? But I will focus on my strength, not on my weakness. So clarity over activity, okay? Strategic energy management. I already talked about that one, so I'm going to go straight. I manage my energy. I don't try to force myself into being a morning person. Even when I was going to the gym, I don't wake up 6 a.m. to go to the gym. And it's not indiscipline. It is not indiscipline, sir. Don't vex. I will go by 8 p.m. There's 8 p.m. gym. Let's just be guided. Systemization for scale, creating repeatable processes and all of these things. So this is a summary of what we're talking about. Boundaries as protections, right? Set clear limits and time focus. I have built a system. I tell you guys so much so that my dad, and I respect and I love my father and I honor him. Yeah. My dad, he doesn't call me before 10 a.m. If he calls me before 10 a.m., there's an emergency. Yeah. He knows. They know. Because most likely she didn't sleep till 4. So why are you calling me by 7 a.m.? It's boundaries, or small things like it are boundaries. Boundaries, don't send me a document that is haphazard and expect me to spend time to review it. Simple boundaries. So it's not every time boundaries is boy and girl relationship. Let's just be guided. You can put simple things in your life. There's something that I did not plan to say, but they just come out. And then continuous iteration, right? So review, refine, and all of those good stuff, like Miriam will say. Okay, so let's move on to the final one. Well done, guys. We have come to the final hour. And for those of you who have stayed on this call, maybe joined there like 60. Divine, wait here, Poon. You're always the one that I'm trying to mute and mute again. You know, for those of you who have stayed on the call from 7 p.m. till now, you are the real OGs. It tells me that, I mean, apart from those that are threatening their life and their jobs, the other people that have been here without, anybody holding your throats, it tells me that you know what you want. So well done. We are now in the R, right, of the other framework, which is regulate. Move from productivity to self-governance. Become an executive arm of your life. Let's move on. I would ignore the comment section. You are not just treat yourself like a government. Respect yourself enough to apply self-governance. There's a difference between productivity hack to self-governance, and self-governance. Self-governance is, I know that me like this, I am plenty. Nations are inside me. I'm preaching, I'm entering another realm. Do you get another dimension? Because I know what I carry. Do you understand? The destinies that are tied to mine. People that will see light because I will govern myself well. So when you walk and you live your life with that, so a lot of the time when people come to growth party, I always tell them that we might not be the best paid, but I tell you, my people live. There's such a thing as growth party alumni. Are they in the house? They live better than they came. When you come into the organization, you live 1,000 times better. It's the kind of person that I'm building. I'm a system. I'm an institution by myself. Forget TVM as a brand. I'm an institution. You are an institution. So why are you disrespecting yourself? Why are you treating yourself like you're just a commoner? Move from just, I want to be productive. I want to be just, so self-governance. And let me just quickly wrap up with what it is, right? You are being visionary in your management. Divine, if you unmute one more time, I will throw you out of this class. What is it? Is your phone malfunctioning? It's the same person that's been unmuting since the beginning of the class. So back to what I was saying before Divine just came and broke my flow. So self-governance is basically just like the word governance, right? I taught this to Light and Skills Academy people on our last Transformational Tuesday, the last coaching call we had. And I said that you manage yourself like an institution. Every institution, every country, every state has laws. They have an enforcement structure, which is the police. They have systems, right? That is the ministries and a different thing. It's no problem, Divine. I was just joking. It's fine. The ministries, they have a budget and they know how to allocate the budget. That's why you hear that Nigeria's budget for youth development is this billion. Yet we don't see the youth development. Me, like this, as Growth Party, I am developing more youth than the Nigerian government. Let's not go there. I don't want to vex. So let's continue. Reviews and accountability. They have an accountability. There's a monitoring and evaluation system. These are the elements of what makes a good governance structure, right? So some questions you might ask: what are my operating decision rules? How do I operate? What are the regulations that guide my life? That is self-governance. That is self-governance. For example, I do not start a year without planning or retreating. Last year, I went to my village and people were laughing at me that I didn't have lights. Well, once we did our end of year party, I immersed myself, right? So these are operating decision rules. These are laws. I have me like this. I have a plan. I have goal setting. The way we do goal setting for Growth Party, I do goal setting for my life. Do you understand? There are regulations. There are some people I can never be friends with. Don't let us spill some things. I can't just be friends with you. We can be acquaintances, but I can't be. Why? It's a rule. It's a system. You must be guided by something. So do you have laws that guide your life? If not, you cannot function in a high achieving environment when you have multiple things to do. How do you reward yourself for progress and correct yourself for doing wrong or for like dropping the ball? Some of you, you just say, you think saying sorry is enough. You consistently drop the ball for 3 weeks and you think you're doing your organization. You're doing yourself. You're teaching yourself that dropping the ball is okay. And it's okay to not achieve your own goals. Your brain is learning from you. You don't know. So you must have a system for how do you reward yourself when you hit goals. How do you congratulate yourself? What do you do to say well done to yourself? Right? What do you do to say no? Step it up, step it up, step it up. When I'm dropping the ball, I know. So there must be something that I do to correct myself, to realign, and to let my brain know that that is a wrong behavior. You know the way you teach children and you say bad, bad, good, good, bad dog, good dog. You know, all these things you do. It's a system. When you do something wrong, or maybe wrong is not the word, when you drop the ball consistently, you must signal to your brain that this is unacceptable behavior. And I'm not saying be harsh with yourself. Oh, we've already talked about this is a very balanced conversation. If anybody carry this thing and cut it half and now come and be saying one thing, I don't know, you better be here from the beginning of the class to the end, right? So that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that when you are doing things that you're not meant to be doing, or you're doing things that's below the way you expect it to be, there must be a way for your system to signal to your brain that this is not right, so that your brain does not impute it as correct, normal, accepted behavior. That is the root cause of what we now so know as normalized nonsense. Normalized nonsense is when your brain has accepted that this thing is normal. So everybody can see it's nonsense, but your brain has normalized it. It's why you will come to the meeting and you are comfortable with saying, I couldn't get it done, I couldn't get it done, I couldn't get it for like 5 tasks. I need to breathe. It is when you're comfortable with spending your finances anyhow, even though you have set a budget for yourself. Your brain has normalized that it's okay to spend ridiculously above your means, even when you have budget. So you can have your budget in front of you, but your brain has disregarded it. So there's no longer guilt. So you must find a way to acknowledge or to tell your brain that is not a right decision. This week, thank you, cognitive biases. This week, I didn't do well. You spend some 30 minutes. There are weeks where I don't do well. If I normalize it and be like, well, it's fine, Jerry, we move. My brain is going to be like, okay, that's acceptable behavior. I'm not going to do it again. But the weeks when I don't do well, I tell it to myself, we didn't do well. We did not do well, Victory. This is not the behavior of a light bearer. You did not do well. You can do better. You're better than this. You have passed this level. I have the conversation with myself. I mean, like some other thing that I apply that, let's move on from here. I won't share. So is your life compartmentalized? You have systems, right? You have systems. You have things that, what's the word now? Share or that show that your life is compartmentalized. You have an operating system. Do you have structures? And your structures will continue to, what's the word now? Will continue to increase and expand as you grow. At this level that I am in now, I have some systems that are operating, that are managing all these things, right? There's a system I will operate from, and it will be an entire different level. But at the phase that you're in, do you have systems? Don't wait till you have the money to employ 5 assistants. Stop it. You'll be like, because I don't, let's not go there. No chief executive officer started with a chief executive officer with an assistant. Let's be realistic. So when I say system, don't just be like, oh, it's because she has a team. No. At your level, there are systems, and we've just talked about it. We've talked about context switching, we talked about theme days, we went extensively into it. Right? So at the level you are, there are systems that you can deploy. Right? Is your pressures of each of my department aligned to the vision of my life? So I told you that I will teach you on the 5th of September about the life compass, and I will give you a framework. That's something that I also recently learned, right? So positioning yourself to learn is part of my system. I know that there are people that are attached to me, so I have to continually grow. I can't stay in one level. So I'm going to teach you about life compass and how each of the different parts of the compass must align to your vision. Each department is in alignment with my vision. That is what vision and direction. No government functions without a vision. They do planning for the year. Okay, and then resource allocation, we've talked about it. Budgets, attention is a budget. Your time is a currency. Do I allocate it well? Are my reviews and reset periods systemized? Do you have a time in your entire year that you retreat as a family? And you say, let's look at where we are going as a family, or let's look at where we are going as an institution. And Victory, what have you done in your life with? So this year, I clocked a milestone age, right? And I went to sit with two older women who had, one of them was 10 years above me, that's a decade. Another was 5 years above me, that's half a decade. I didn't pick them at random. And they were both women that were doing excellently well. One of them already had children in their early 8, 7, 9. The one that is 10 years above me, and another, just a little baby, an entrepreneur. Another one, both of them are entrepreneurs. One is playing in the factory industry, the other is playing in the consulting industry. Similar. I went to spend the day with them. How can I be involved again in this meeting next time? It would be a favor. How did you get this link? So the first thing you want to do is make sure that you registered to be in this meeting. So we have your email and number, and we can add you to TVM Circle, and you can know when we have trainings like this. The second thing you want to do is register for Redesigning My 2026. That is also a free event. I'm giving freebies now. When I will release my masterclass that is paid, nobody should shout, oh. Please, TVM team, help drop the links in the group. Thank you very much. Thank you, Deborah. Right? Drop the links to this event to register, and the link to the one on the 5th of September. Okay. So I was telling a story now. I forgot my story. I went to sit with women that were half a decade older than me and a decade older than me. And I tell you, I gained wisdom from observing them, seeing how they live. I can't even give you that gist. I will probably give you that gist if you're in the Grow with TVM coaching program. I gained a lot from just observing these two women for one day. I packed my bag in the morning. I went to the island. That's a system that I have, right? At the birthday is not about cake and posting photo shoots. Let's go. Let's continue. We're good. So final thing I want to tell you is you are not a machine to optimize. I know that at some level we talk about optimizing ourselves, optimizing your time, and move from just thinking about hacks and tips and tricks that will only last. When you want to lose weight, I are just like, okay, let's just be counting our calories for like 2 weeks, or you starve, and it's not sustainable, and you gain the weight back in 2 weeks, in 1 month. That's what you do when you just be like, well, let's just use tips and tricks. Let's do the Pomodoro. What's this? You people know that hack I'm talking about, Abby. It's good. But the level that this webinar is for people who are playing in the value sector. Pomodoro technique is great. But move from just tips and tricks and hacks to having a governance structure. You need to repeat it out loud, but don't unmute. So just say, I am an institution. Do you get? I am an institution. I need to function well. You are criticizing government. Our government is bad. But you're a bad government. Okay, let's continue. Let's continue. It's not about doing more, fitting more, compressing, or sleeping less. Even though some of the times, there are some critical times that come for it. There are times, I just told you on the call that there are times where I sat down from 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. and I worked on something and I didn't want to stop because I didn't want to break my flow. I wanted to finish and I finished, right? Those times. And it's also because I know my energy level. I can be unproductive for morning till 12, 1, 2, 3. But if I sit at it by 7 p.m., I promise you I will finish before I get up from my laptop. That's my own strategy. Some of you cannot do that. So don't attempt it. It is better for you to do 30 minutes every day, and finish it in 1 week. Do you understand? You can have that consistency. But for me, it's not yet a gift that I have mastered. How to do 30 minutes every day, right? So I can sit on a complex project that you think is complex. I will finish it. So yesterday, I built a 12-week roadmap for a fintech company that is about to go to market, a go-to-market strategy. I sat down and I built it yesterday, start to finish. If I give some people that task, you will use a week to do it. You think it's bad? No, it's not necessarily bad. Just know your systems. Do you understand? You are a nation to govern, so you must know what works for you. Stop trying to, and we blame our government for these things. We say, oh, you want to copy the Westerners. You want to copy this strategy. It works in China. It doesn't work in Nigeria, but that's what you want to do. Then everybody says that you must go to the gym every day. And I'm not neglecting discipline and consistency. Oh, please and please, discipline and consistency is important. So don't go and say Victory said that she can do it in 1 hour. So you will not read your Bible for 1 week. Then you will not come and read 10 chapters. Wisdom is profitable to direct. Don't misquote me. Don't let me and the Holy Spirit have an argument on the things that I did not say. So let's move on. Do you get? You are not a machine to optimize. You're not a machine that you just add oil and you just do more. You're a nation that needs to be governed. You're an institution, right? So treat yourself like one. All right. So final thought, and this is my last slide. It's not about more time. That's a typo there. You don't need more time. You need a better operating system to govern your life, right? Don't allow responsibilities to control your time. You lead your own life intentionally. Did these 2 hours land? Because I'm done. If it landed and there's something that you're going to do differently from today, I'd like to see the emojis. Let me be sure that I did not just do the contrary of what I'm preaching, because you cannot pay me 1 hour for this. So I want to be sure that you got value. If you got value, can you just type value in the chat, right? Let me be sure that you got value, because that's my reward. That's my reward. That's my reward. Thank you. Let me see the values that keeps coming. Like, keep saying value. Yes. Good. I love it. Good. Thank you so much. Now, I will take a few questions if there are any, but I believe it was such a thorough class. There's no question. Somebody said, will the recording be sent to us? If you register, the recording will be shared with you. If you do not register, there is no way for us to get you the recording. If somebody just sent you the Google link and you didn't register, there is no way to get it, right? So thank you. I love that you got value. Thank you. So just one quick announcement. If you got value from this session, I promise you will get value from the 5th of September. We have a masterclass coaching program, and it's a planning session. Please don't come to that session and be like, it's too long. I'm telling you now, it's 4 hours, 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Nigerian time. We will first have a panel session where some great people will come and tell you how they achieve goals, right? After which I'll take you through a structured framework on how you will plan September, October, November, and December to be the last. You see these 4 months, these quadrants, it's going to be the best part of your year. You will achieve goals on goals. I'm telling you this thing. Anyways, so I'll hand you back now. If there are no questions, are there questions? I didn't see any question in the chat, guys. Thank you. Thank you, people. Are there questions in the chats? Guys, did I find any question in the chat? Did anybody take any question from me? None? Okay. Is there any question? Okay. So I guess that it was very good because I will not assume that okay. Cody has a question. Cody always has a question. I love it. Cody, go ahead with your question.
Hi, good
Hi.
evening.
Good evening.
Okay, so thank you so much for this session, and it was so enlightening. So my question is that what if you have like your work environment is not stable, is not stable at all. So work comes in at random times, or you don't even know what you're supposed to do in a day. Like, how do you navigate that kind of point? Like, what if you get like different messages at random time, people setting meetings at random times? How do you navigate that in your workplace?
Great. So I assume this is like one job you're talking about. That's even still easier to manage. If you remember, I said when you get random tasks, you capture and log, right? So in your workplace, you get random things to do. Except you're working as a virtual assistant. If you're working as a virtual assistant, then that's the job. The job is you are available from this time to this time to do work. So you block out that time. It's not random anymore if it is your job. You block out that time I will read your question, your comments, Abigail, so I'm not distracted. You block out that time to do the work, right? So you're going to get the random messages, let's say from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. That 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., you are blocking it out for work. You set yourself and your calendar in such a way that you are available to be booked at that time. So, for example, my calendar is out there. I do a 25 minutes free one-on-one coaching. If you go on my website, you will see it, www.thevictorymesona.com. You book a website, you book a call, it's free, right? It's 20 minutes or 25 minutes, I think. Now, my calendar is out there. I don't determine when people book it, but I have blocked out time for when they can book. So within that period that they book, if they see availability, it means that I'm available. So I can be working on something. When that booking comes in, I can look at it and be like, oh, in the next 30 minutes, I have to get to a meeting. So if that's your job, then you know that from 9 to 6 or from 9 to 5 or from whatever, it's time for you to do work and handle tasks that come in that time. You now begin to triage and sort the task based on what can be achieved within this 9 to 6 p.m. as they are coming in. What do I need to calendarize for the next day? So different things are coming in, but it's within a time frame. Or the tasks are coming in by 11 p.m. and you need to calendarize it. If you're already sleeping by 11 p.m., when you wake up, you see it, you calendarize it, right? So I understand how you might feel like, oh, you just get tasks, but it's still not very different from what's happening. If you're an executive assistant, you're a PA, you don't tell your boss when to give you tasks. You curate a time when you work on the things that will come within that day. And then you curate other times when you do maybe some other personal work. And in that time as well, when you curated or you've blocked out for working with your boss, you also are able to do some things in case tasks don't come. It's like someone that is selling in a shop. You are sitting in the shop, you're waiting, you can be reading a book. When somebody comes to buy something, you have to stand up and go and attend to the person. It's the same thing, but the shop is open from 9 p.m. to 6 p.m. Did that make sense, Cody? So you still have ways to structure it within that framework. And like I said, if there are opportunities in your workspace to say, oh, this is well noted, Ma, I will work on it by this time to give that feedback, then that's great. Except it's saying work on it now. If not, you treat it, like I said, a new task, capture and log. You triage it and put it where it should be. Okay? Great. So glad that your question has been answered.
Yeah, thank you so much.
My pleasure. Abigail said, I have questions before this relating to this theme. You've answered them. I'm very glad. So I think there's no more questions. I'm going to hand it back to Sonia. Or is it Chimdi right now? Who's moderating this? Is Sonia here? I'm going to hand you off back to Sonia to give you the announcements, tell you about Growth Circle. Port Harcourt people, we are coming. If you are in PH, we're coming. We're having a physical session. It's going to be great. All right. But I'll hand you back to Sonia. Thank you so much for the time. Thank you for showing up. God bless you so much. If you're registered, we'll get the recording and also the bonus session I mentioned. Thank you. Sonia, back to you.
Thank you very much, Victory. You guys can see my wig is scattered because I was taking down notes. I feel like Victory had this space because of Sunita. So thank you so much. I got a lot of value from it, and I hope. Let me wait from this space. Sorry, everyone. Yeah, and I hope we all got value from it. So, like Victory has been mentioning, we have another webinar that is going to be 4 hours. This class is just this space rather. So it's some person's class. It's just a training, but that one will be practical, hands-on, planning for you for the next 4 months. So if you have not registered, I have dropped the link in the chat box. So please go and register, and we're going to follow up with you on that. The growth circle is a space where you would learn how to grow exactly where you are. So if you register, you'll be added to the growth circle group chat, where we'll be dropping a lot of updates for you. Also, regarding our book, go and buy it. Like Victory said, we are not doing any bonanza at this period. Please and I beg, go and buy and read, right? I hope we all got insights, right? And we are going to be sharing a feedback form to get feedback from everybody regarding this space as well, because we love to hear if you got exactly what you wanted from this space and what exactly you want us to do for the next webinar. So thank you everybody for being here, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your night. Bye everyone. Bye everyone.
Thank you, Victory. Bye, everybody.
Bye guys. Enjoy the rest of your night.